Okay, welcome everyone. I'm Jennifer Elliott. Welcome to VinYin. So we'll do 40 minutes of vinyasa, 20 minutes of yin, and we are finishing out our chakras. So we're working towards headstand because it's VinYin. We probably won't get to the full headstand, but we'll work in that direction and then unwind it through our yin. So if you'd like, start in a 2-block heart opener. If you don't have blocks or you just want to start flat, start on your back. You can take your arms in cactus if you'd like. So I've got mine set up already with 1 block medium, 1 block tall. And I can just lie back over these props. And if we had sort of a secondary theme, I would say would be opening up the thoracic today and moving into twists, which will help prepare us for that inversion. So just feeling here that the back body, the shoulder blades are being pressed up into the front body. And starting to relax the jaw, the eyes. And allow the breath to move in and out through the nose. Allowing the breath to become a bit more regular with your ujjayi breathing. In and out through the nose with that slight constriction of the base of the throat. The crown center is more than just trying to get to headstand. It's also this universal connection to something larger than ourselves, whether it be this shared experience or your small part of a larger whole, whether it be your family, community. And so we'll work together to create that world that we're looking for, even if it's just one class at a time. Let's take an inhale and reach our arms back. Grab onto the elbows, framing the face. So some of you framing the face will mean that your arms can clear the head. For others of you, it'll mean that your forearms are resting on your forehead, just whatever is comfortable in your body. As you hold the elbow tips, pull them back and get really long through the side waist, but relax your inner shoulder blades. So release them down the back. And whichever arm is on top, go ahead and switch it so the other arm is on top. Grab onto your elbows, pull those elbow tips back, release the inner shoulder blades down the back. And then relax the arms. Go ahead and roll to the side if you're on blocks. Come off your blocks and remove them. And we'll just return to our back. We're going to do a twist before we come up. So as you come to your back, pull the knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice hug here. And you can take the arms out. I don't have straight arms. So I'm just going to do a little bend in the elbow. And then start to rock your knees gently side to side. And eventually dropping your knees all the way to the left into a nice spinal twist. As the knees meet the floor, slide them a little higher up towards the back of the room so that your low back is nice and flat. We've got a good opening for the thoracic rib cage area. Bring your knees through center and over to the right side. Once they come to the right, again, slide them a little higher to the back of the room, open up the chest a bit. And then make your way back to center. And hands under the knees, rock up to seated or however you'd like to make your way up. We'll come to hands and knees, and I've got my blocks at the top of the mat. Nice flat palms as we come into table pose. And then we can dip the heart just like we did with the block between the shoulder blades and pull the chest forward. Press into the palms, into the shins, around the upper back. Just start moving through those cat-cows. Inhale, the chest pulls through. And exhale, we round. Couple of breaths, just moving through that mobility of the chest. You can round back into child's pose, shift back, and find this pose as a reminder you can always return here. Spread wide through the fingers, rebound those forearms up, spin the biceps up, find your breath. Then lift the chest, come up, lead with the heart, tuck the toes under, lift up and back, downward facing dog. So take a few moments here, pedal out the feet, do what you need. And then eventually just settle into your pose. Spine is really long. Wrap the outer upper arms back. And let the head be really neutral. So bring your ears in line with your upper arms. Shift forward into plank, top of your push-up. As you root down through the palms, really corset the navel in. Look down. Get the back of the neck long. And we lift up and back, downward facing dog. From down dog, let's take the right leg up halfway, drive the heel back. Take an inhale. And then exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round the back as you shift forward into plank. Inhale the leg back, three-legged dog. Exhale, the knee crosses to the left arm. Inhale the leg back. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot next to the right thumb tip, back knee drops, arms rise. Bring your hands to your heart, take an inhale, and exhale, twist to the right, elbow over the knee. So get really long on the spine. Good. Scoop the belly in and use the abdominals as your twister, right? So as you pull the belly button in, keep turning from there. It's really nice. And then gradually unwind, fingertips to the floor or onto the blocks. Hinge back and pull the front toes up. Really dig that heel into the mat and kind of drag it back isometrically. It doesn't really go anywhere, but you feel the engagement of those muscles. Shift yourself forward, hands on the ground, step back with control to plank. So keep hands on the ground, hips level. Look at the floor. So there's a tiny little chin lock. So look, maybe not even at your thumbs, but slightly posterior to that. And then from plank or from your knees, you're going to tip forward and then elbows hug the body. See how slow you can lower. Even if you're on your knees, heart and hips come down at the exact same time. When you arrive on your belly, reach back through your toes. The legs are active. Lift the chest, look down your nose so the back of the neck is long, and release. Inhale, lift the heart. Slide onto the forearms for Sphinx. Keep those arms parallel. And just like that heel, drag the arms back isometrically and try to pull your chest forward. The feet are pressing down. The navel is lifting up. Lower down. Press up table or plank. Downward facing dog. From down dog, the left leg lifts, height of the hip, take an inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to the right arm. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose, step the foot forward, drop the back knee down, arms rise. Hands to your heart, twist left, elbow over the knee. So we lengthen the spine. Again, scoop the belly in to get a little twist. Unwind, fingertips down. You're on the floor or your blocks, hinge back and pull up the front toes. And again, this heel feels like it's digging into the mat as we pull the chest forward. Yoga is always this union of opposites. So if something is moving back, something is always moving forward. So finding those opposite actions. Shift forward into plank. Top of your push-up. Tip forward on the toes or knees. The heels can feel like they're pressing back. And then lower to chaturanga. Let's see if we can hold it for 3, 2, 1. Come all the way to your belly. Lift into cobra or sphinx. Or if you're ready, push into the palms, lift the thighs, up dog. But look straight ahead today. Avoid looking up. Down dog. Okay, so you're here. You're really anchoring into whatever's on the ground. And we walk our hands back towards our heels. Forward fold. As you walk to the back of the mat, let the body hang so the knees might be a little soft. And grab onto your elbows. So just like we did before, let the weight of the arms pull you down. And feel the inner shoulder blades lift up. Switch the clasp of the arms. Hands to hips. Lead with the chest and slowly rise. All right, come up to the top of your mat, feet are together. We'll do 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salute A. So stand tall in your Tadasana, get your plumb line. So bring your ear back over your shoulder, shoulder over hip, hip over ankle. Kind of feels like you're leaning back a little bit, but drop your chin. Then inhale, send the arms high, look straight ahead. And exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees on the way down. Fingertips on the floor or blocks. Come up halfway, but look at your toes, little chin lock. Flatten the palms, step to plank. Set it up well, and then from plank or the knees, lower either to chaturanga or to your belly. And then from either of those, inhale, lift into your back bend of choice. Push into the feet. Down dog. All right, we're rooting through the palms, getting long out of the side waist. And enjoying the breath. Try to be even from hands to feet, from left to right. High to your toes. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop. Top of the mat. Come up halfway, the chest pulls through and fold. Maybe hands go flat. Inhale the arms forward and up, look straight ahead today. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, round 2. Inhale, arms reach, look straight ahead. Very nice. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Some of you are jumpers. If you want to jump to chaturanga, go for it. Otherwise, step to plank and lower. Inhale is your back bend. Exhale, down dog. I don't really jump back anymore. It's kind of the greatest risk for injury of your wrists, shoulders, neck, low back. But I really enjoy hopping forward. But if you do either of those, try to do it without a lot of sound. If there's a sound, there's a force, right? It goes up into the body. Trying to be quiet and light will help that shock absorbing of the joints. So high to the toes, bend the knees, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, maybe hands flat. Arms rise, reach high, palms press, look straight ahead. Exhale, hands to heart. One more, inhale, reach, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, your version of Vinyasa. Step or hop back. Down dog. All right, in this down dog, we're going to take kind of a different pose before we finish the sequence. So if your heels aren't totally rooted on the floor, that's fine, but take them a little wider or maybe even shorter in your stance so you can feel like you're really rooted. Press the right palm into the mat. Feel that outer right arm wrap back. And then the left hand is going to reach for the right ankle or leg. So it's a twisting dog. And if this does not feel good on your shoulders, you can just thread the needle and thread the arms in child's pose. And then go ahead and come back to your base. Down dog or child's pose. Set it up well and then switch. Right hand reaches underneath and breathe. All right, down dog. High to the toes, bend the knees, step or hop. Top of the mat. Come up halfway, maybe fingertips in line with toes. Exhale, fold. Some of you hands flat. Arms rise, reach high. And exhale, hands to heart. Okay, nice job. So look down, feet are together, inner thighs are engaged. Sit back into chair, Utkatasana. Really engage those inner thighs towards one another. Shift the weight into the heels and that's let the toes lift a little bit and you kind of create a bit of balance. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, step or float back, Vinyasa, where you can skip it. If you want to move right into down dog, you can. The Vinyasas now are optional. And then from down dog, the right leg lifts again. Inhale. Exhale. Knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to the left arm. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step up, this time high lunge, the foot next to right thumb tip, but stand all the way up. Bend the back knee, it'll help a little bit with balance and getting that nice plumb line from the head to the tail. So instead of kind of tipping forward, we bend the knee and we can kind of sit upright. And just sink into the hips. Squeeze the inner thighs to the midline to get a little more stability. Absorb the front ribs back towards the spine. And then we're going to drop the back heel, open to the left, and find warrior two, and adjust the feet, heel to arch. I'm going to turn to mirror you. Okay, so your right side, if it looks different than you, it's your right knee that's bent. Sink really deeply. So I'm pretty short and I still have almost the full length of my mat. I'm trying to get this thigh parallel. Want the knee to point over that second toe. The heart nice and open. The back leg strong and active. I'm going to take the left arm to the small of the back. The right palm turns up, reverse. Reach from right hip to right fingertip. And then right elbow onto right thigh. Press the elbow, lift out of the shoulder. Turn the top chest open. And that left arm reaches up. Turn the palm forward and extend the arm over the ear. Great. Now I'm keeping elbow on the thigh. If you want to drop that right hand lower to the floor or block on the inside, you're welcome to. Our main focus is this top arm, kind of wrapping it in, working the tricep. Great. A little deeper, lift the navel in. Get the weight into that right heel. We're going to create a little heat. And then come up, reverse the warrior again, this time straighten the right leg. And parallel the right toes, so you're facing the side wall. And usually our stance is a little wide, so bring it in. Turn the right palm back, set the hand on the shoulder, and use that left arm to guide it back. And if your shoulders are really tight, you might grab your strap. You're going to take that left hand underneath. You can hold a piece of your shirt or your hand, Gomukhasana arms. Or you might find that you want to use your strap. You can go as wide as you need. So take whatever version here. And once you get those arms set up, really hug that top elbow in towards the face. All 10 toes face forward, really hugging the outer ankles in. And then soften the knees a little bit. Start to tilt forward. So as you hinge, think about getting the chest parallel to the floor and stop. And at that point, pull your breastbone forward. Pull your right elbow tip forward. You can stay where you are. Or if you can keep that length and you want to, you can lower down. But try not to round. Keep really pulling the chest and the elbow tip forward. Yeah, nice. Lead with the heart, slowly come up, keep the arms a little longer if you can. When you come up to stand, turn your right toes back forward. Kick your left heel back, we're setting up the feet for triangle. Lift up through that right side elbow. Kick the hips back, and then lengthen, reach with that right arm, whether it's the elbow or it extends out, but turn the top chest open. Hips go back, and now we can extend that right arm. Bring it to the shin or block for a more classic triangle, and that top arm reaches high. Really nice. So what I like about that elbow is when done well, it kind of helps lengthen that bottom waist. I'm just going to turn so that I'm doing the same side that you are. We're all in our right side triangle, Trikonasana. Try 3 cone angle asana pose. Or 3 angle pose. Take the top arm, reach it over the ear, get long in the side waist. And then bring the top hand down, turn to face your front foot, come onto the back toes in a high lunge. And I'm sort of shifted forward so I can bring that knee right over the ankle. And then I'm going to come up into the high lunge like we started. Find my balance. All right, so I'm sinking into the lunge. I'm going to take the hands to the heart. And again, I'm going to twist to the right. So this time I can press out through the back heel. Lift that back leg a little higher. So right leg forward. Yeah, there you go. And then turn towards the right leg. So that's a twist. The leg is right, Karina, but switch your torso. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we're all gonna look down at that right foot, really drive down through the right heel. And then in one step or more, left foot next to the right, twisting chair. Drop the seat, hold the chest through, open the heart, open the arms if you want. Some of you might take an arm balance. I've not been doing my arm balances this week because I've been doing a lot with the shoulders, but it's always available for you. All right, chair. So keep the legs bent, but reach the arms up. And as you stand up, push into the left heel, bring the right knee up into the chest. You can grab onto the shin, pull it in. Take a moment, find your balance. And then we'll reach for that right ankle, point the kneecap down. Kick the foot back into the hand. And left arm high. Stay where you are or tilt it forward. Great. Slowly rise. Feet together. Arms by your sides. Tadasana. Well done, everyone. All right. Other side. Sit into chair, weight in the heels. Forward fold, maybe hands flat. Come up halfway. Step or jump back, vinyasa, or go right to down dog, which is what I've been doing lately. From down dog, the left leg lifts. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to right arm. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot next to the left thumb tip, high lunge. Come up, bend the back knee a lot, sink into it, find your balance. Breathe. Open to the right, warrior two, adjust the feet. Turn to mirror you, so your left leg is the bent leg. Sink into your lunge. And breathe. Really drive the weight down through the front heel. Reverse it, right arm behind the back, left arm high. Side angle, left elbow, left thigh. Sink into the lunge. Send the right arm up and over. But we really want to turn that top chest open. Yeah, nice. And again, if you want to drop that bottom arm towards the floor, you're welcome to. I'm more concerned with this top arm. So that hip opening is really just up to you and your hips. All right, and then come up, reverse the warrior, straighten the left leg, and then turn the left toes in. Take a moment to shorten up the stance. And then like before, we're gonna take that left hand back. We're gonna really hug the elbow in. And then when you're ready, right arm underneath. And you know by now if you wanna grab your strap or a towel, or if you can hold your hands. Lift on inhale. Soften the hips on exhale, hinge forward halfway. And think, how long can you get your spine? As if somebody has your elbow tip, your chest, and they're pulling you forward out of the hips. Can stay, some of you can fold, just make sure you're not rounding. So instead of looking at the back wall, if you folded, can you look forward? Maybe a couple of feet. We're looking forward not just with our eyes, but our chest leading that far forward of our feet. Legs are strong, we slowly rise. Keep the arms a little longer if that's okay. Turn left toes out, kick right heel back. Get long on the left side. And then we're moving towards our triangle. With Gomukhasana arms if it's okay. If not, start moving towards classic. Turn the top chest open. Yep, you can extend that bottom arm. And then move into your classic triangle. And breathe. Right arm reaches over the ear. And just pinwheel it down to the floor as you slowly turn up onto the back toes, lining knee over ankle. And then when you're ready, come up high lunge. Just like we started. Sink into the lunge, drive out through the back heel, hands to your heart. Now, as you tip forward, you can press out through the back heel with control, slowly twist elbow over knee. Yep, perfect. Get long in the spine. And really use those inner legs, right? We're a bit wobbly, so we can press down through the front heel. We can hug those inner thighs in. Don't forget about driving out through the back heel. And then look down all the way to the left heel in one step or more, right foot next to left. Re-lengthen the spine, turn that top chest open. Some of you opened the arms. chair. Utkatasana, stand up, left knee to the chest, hold the knee in. When you're ready, King Dancer, hold the ankle, the right arm high, and tilt when you're ready. All right. Tadasana. Take a moment, feel the heartbeat. My froggy throat, that's all right. All right. I'm just going to turn, my blocks are over here. If you have blocks, you want to have your blocks kind of the front of your mat where you can reach for them. Feet are together. Sit into chair again. Forward fold. Come up halfway, inhale. Exhale, step or float back. Take a vinyasa or go straight to down dog. And then step your right foot next to your right thumb tip. The back foot kind of naturally turns out a little bit, let it. And we're going to come up to warrior one. So it's like those lunges, but the back heel is down now. We're sinking into that front lunge, trying to get that knee over the ankle, but still driving that back heel down. Straighten the legs, hands on the hips, shorten the stance. So it's about the width of my mat here underneath. We're going to hands on hips, and usually that front hip is a little forward. So move the back hip forward, front hip back, so your hip bones are equal distance from you to the wall in front of you. Lift the chest, soften the front knee, and tilt forward. And like that prostrate pose, see how long you can get the spine. Great. And then we're going to reach the hands down to the floor, or I like the blocks, and just frame your front foot. Pull the chest forward, hug the right hip in and back. So as you pull it in and back, really drive the back heel down. You can move that left hand in a little closer, right thumb into the right hip crease. Pin it back. Hold the chest forward to work in that opposite direction. You can stay on the inside or outside block. Look right. And then maybe the right arm lifts, but not a measure of success. I won't be able to do it on my other side. And really get long here. So I lowered my block down just so I could keep a straighter spine. You can always make those adjustments. Really drive into the back heel. Hug that right hip in and back. Revolve triangle, Paririta Trikonasana. All right, bring the hand down. Bend the front knee. You can move those blocks and just pop back into down dog. And then step the left foot next to the left thumb tip. Come up into warrior one. Back heel turns out just a little bit. Sink in. Find your breath. Welcome. Hi, Ellie. Couple more breaths. And go ahead and straighten the front leg. Hands on hips. We want to shorten the stance. Square out the hips. Lift the chest. And fold. Hands on the floor or blocks. Pull the chest forward and really work the steps. So drive that back heel down. Pull the left hip back. Right hip moves forward. Chest draws through. Right hand comes a little closer to the foot with left thumb into the left hip crease. Pin it back. Keep working long. You can be inside or outside block. This side is much more challenging for me. Keep lengthening. Look left. Maybe the left arm out. And for me, if I'm keeping the body really leveled, my hand does not go up all that way. So I'm just going to kind of use the wall for myself to press into it and try to get a little bit of rotation. And then I'll come all the way back, move the blocks, find down dog, and breathe. Bring the knees to the floor. Let's bring the forearms down. Interlace the hands, and the bottom pinky is usually in the way, so just kind of tuck it underneath so that the sides of the hand can be flush. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, and make your way into dolphin. It looks just like down dog, but on the forearms. The head is hanging, but not on the ground. The hips are lifting. Looks nice, everyone. And then walk the feet back, pull the chest forward so that you're in plank on the forearms. And if this isn't great for your shoulders or your back, or you just want to hang out in Sphinx, you can do so. Otherwise, we're going to be here for 5, 4, find Shavasana in the face. 3, corset the navel in. 2, drive back through the heels. 1, knees down, belly down. Okay, nice. So we kind of made it where I wanted to be. So I'm gonna give the option of headstand, but you don't have to do it. So what you might do is you might do dolphin again, you might do legs in the air, but let me just kind of show you headstand if you decide to do it. So I don't want my hands closed all the way like I have them here. I also don't want them so open that I wrap them around the head and pull the head in. So it's as if I'm hitting a volleyball, and I want to place the pads of the hands against the head and find my plumb line and draw the elbows in. So I'm going to take my hands, I've moved my ponytail so it's already not there. Got about a golf ball size space in my palm. I'm going to put my head on the floor and just push it against my hands without opening and collapsing them. My elbows are in my shoulders lift. I'm going to tuck the toes under and walk in. And I'm just trying to get my hips above my head. This can be it. Or I can pull a leg in, add the other leg, and I'm really working out of the shoulders. And then I want to bring the kneecaps up. And then if I feel good, then I'll take those feet up. But I'm really taking my time so that I can activate the shoulders and not have that weight on the neck or head. Okay, so if you're interested, headstand. If you're not interested, dolphin, which was our version here with the head floating, not on the floor. Or you can go back to our core work, which I'll probably do, or legs up the wall. Whatever you'd like. And then obviously I'm not with you, so I can't spot. So if it's not in your practice, normally maybe go near the wall, but we're not swinging the legs up the wall. Elbows are in, shoulder width. Trying to get the hips above the head. Okay. Go ahead and come down. And we'll move into our first yin pose. So let's go ahead and just find child's pose, any version. So I'm going to take my blanket underneath my knees. That just feels really nice. And I'm going to use my bolster under my belly, but any version of child's pose. I just want to feel relaxed here, and we'll be here for 3 minutes. Remember, yin is more passive. Our work is through our resolving to be still. And sometimes more work can be done in these passive poses. Knees can be a little wide if you want, so the belly has space. Work that can be done in our yin practice is really more internal work. Sometimes when we're busy with our practice, right, there's not a lot of time for the mind to think. We're just on to the next breath, the next pose. And so in yin, sometimes things can get really intense. Maybe all of your thoughts catch up with you, your emotions, you've got to kind of sit with them. That can sometimes be uncomfortable. Everything happens in waves. And if you think of a wave has sort of a top and a bottom. Halfway point if you want to turn your head. And if you think sort of a wave having sort of the top of the wave and the bottom of the wave, you know that it's always going to change direction. So if you're feeling really intense in your emotions, really intense in the thoughts, you know it's going to dip back down. So you can sort of ride that wave. You can get a little less attached, a little less reactive. And then you can level your breath. So let your breath get really smooth. So as if the breath was like that wave, we don't want it to be really choppy or intense. The more regular we can make the breath, the more regular we make the emotions, the mind, and our responses to them. So we just have 30 seconds left here. Okay, slowly come out. And we're going to move into our hip opener. I'm going to move us into pigeon. If pigeon is not for you, you can take thread the needle on your back. We'll do it for 3 minutes, but the last minute to 30 seconds, just kind of depending on what you want to do, we'll have a transition. So I'll kind of show you. I'm going to use my blanket here for a moment. And I'm going to move into pigeon, and we'll be here for a couple of minutes if you choose this version. And then if you choose to make any adjustments to it, when you lift up, you can stay up. Or we've done the work if you want to slide that foot into the elbow crease. And if you remember, we had these arms earlier, kind of our Gomukhasana arms. And if you're not choosing this variation, you can just stay where you are. Or if you're on your back, then you can do a little twist from your thread the needle. All right, so come into your pose, whether it's pigeon or thread the needle. I'll set the timer for 3 minutes, but then I'll give you an option if you choose to make any changes. And props are optional. You can use them, you cannot use them. They're not a crutch. They're just a way to build the floor to you. So what I've done is put a folded blanket under my hip. And I have the bolster under my chest and my head. But again, these are just options. And again, we work to regulate the breath. And about a minute in. Halfway point, 90 seconds. For this final minute, you can stay exactly as you are. If you want to add the transition in, you're in thread the needle, you can drop the legs to the left. Those of us in pigeon pose, if you want to move on, you can sit upright and just sit upright, get that length. Or add the bind, reaching for that back foot, sliding the foot into the elbow crease. And then you can take those same Gomukhasana arms if you'd like. We've got about 50 seconds wherever you decide to be. And slowly come out. Move your way to the other side. So whatever you took, just go to side 2. And again, 3 minutes total. So most of us kind of at the final minute. I think I said 2 minutes, 3 minutes total. So at the final minute was when a lot of us made adjustments. You can even do this bolster under the forehead. So just kind of however you want to maneuver those props is fine. So when we were in our vinyasa, like the sun salute, we were linking the breath and the movement. And that marriage of breath and movement is really all a vinyasa is. When the breath stopped, movement stopped. But then when the movement stopped, like in down dog, we deepened the breath. We're usually there for 5 breaths. So we can kind of think of these yin poses like that moment where the movement has stopped, but the breath now has the ability to expand and deepen. About a minute in. Halfway through. We're in this final minute. Some of you took options, like if you're on your back, taking a twist, or some of us sitting upright worked for that back ankle. Forty seconds. walking out of your pose. So we want to take an even back bend, right? So for some of you, it might just be a supported bridge. So taking bridge and putting a block underneath the seat. I'm gonna move into saddle pose, which is just kind of another version. And I like to do saddle with the blanket and 2 blocks. It's different than reclined hero. Reclined hero, you're kind of sitting between the feet and the knees knock in, which is not great for the knees for most of us. Saddle pose, I'm sitting on the feet, the knees are wide. So it's almost like a child's pose. And then I can lean back, maybe that's it, or I can rest on these props. And again, if this is too deep for you or you just don't want to do it, you could take a supported bridge. You just want something symmetrical. We'll do 3 minutes. If you're on your back in bridge and that is too much for you the whole time, you can do 1.5 minutes each leg. Even though we're looking for balance, balance is relative to your body. So make changes where necessary. And the level of the blocks are up to you. So I'm on medium tall. You could go flat medium, right? You just want your head a little higher. You don't want to drop the head back. You could be just on a blanket under your spine. So everyone's really different. I'm not real back bendy, so it takes me the whole practice to get here, and I'm happy with that. And again, wherever you are, just dropping into the breath. Breath can change our mood, our blood pressure, our sense of well-being in the mind. And just find that breath even in and out through the nose. We're more than halfway through, so I didn't see anyone just doing one leg, so I didn't offer that to you, but we've got about 1 minute left now, depending on where you're at. Oh, 20 more seconds. Okay, those of us in saddle, grab the edges of your mat and slowly press yourself upright. If you're in bridge, feet on the floor, bend the knees and lift your hips. Remove the prop, hips to the ground, and leave them there. Those of us coming up out of saddle, find your way to table pose as a rebound. And you might even take a down dog to finish to kind of stretch out the back and the ankles. If you're on your back, the knees are knocking into one another, and you can gently rock those knees side to side. Okay, so we want to take a finishing pose and one that is supportive of our back. Some of you might go back into child's pose or legs up the wall. You could take a seated forward fold or even dangling pose. So you want dangling is sort of this hanging over the legs and letting the back stretch. So take anything that feels like it just really completes your practice. And we'll be here just for 2 minutes, and then we'll have a shorter Shavasana, 2 minutes. Of course, you're in your space, you can always make Shavasana longer. But take your forward fold, seated standing line. Really think about how you can create space in the low back. Thirty seconds. Halfway through, 1 minute left. Slowly come out of your pose, whatever you were in. And we're going to move into either Shavasana or seated meditation. The lower back is tender. Find a way to support the legs. You might throw them up on a chair or a little higher on your bolster. I'm going to sit in meditation. And we're just going to do a 2-minute Shavasana to keep us on our time, but you're in your space. If you want to stay longer, please do. You can always just mute us. And as you find this final pose, just fully commit to rest and stillness. If you're on your back and you want to move, you can start to roll to the right side. Press yourself upright as you find your seat, hands to your heart, reflecting on our crown chakra. Connecting to our universal connection to those around us. Lift our heart and bow our heads, drop to your wisdom within. Thanks for sharing your time today. Namaste. Thanks, yogis. I hope you have a great day. I'll stay on if you want to chat. Otherwise, I'll see you soon.